The Nintendo Switch has been lucky enough to receive a lot of great re-releases. From World of Final Fantasy to Ys, a lot of great JRPGs are finding a new home on Switch, and the convenience and portability of the console makes it an attractive place to play, especially when the ports are good and bring out the best parts of the game. While I'd say the Switch already has a decent amount of JRPGs and remastered ones in its library, there are some that I think would fit really well on a portable with the amount of little things to do in them, and some I would just honestly love to play on my lunch break. And with the Switch as my favorite place to play games portably right now, these are 5 JRPGs I would love to see on the go and at home on Switch. Persona 5 is the game that seems to be the one most JRPG fans want to see on Switch, and hopes were high for it this past week with Atlus's scheduled announcements for Persona 5 The Royal and S, and while the S announcement ended up being an action take on Persona 5 for Switch and PS4, I'm sure myself and many others would still be happy to see the original game on Switch. There's good reason for it, as aside from being a great game with plenty to do in general, the previous Persona title, Persona 4 Golden, was one of the best games on Sony's great portable PS Vita, and it fit a portable console environment well, with all of its social links and dungeon crawling being easy to jump in and out of on the go. It's because of my many months playing and platinuming Persona 4 Golden that I would be so happy to have that experience again with 5, and while it wasn't announced this time, I'm not giving up hope yet, as surely Atlus must see the amount of demand for this experience on Switch. My opinion is basically that if a JRPG as big as Dragon Quest XI can come to Switch, so can Persona 5, and I hope they listen to the fans on this one at some point, as being able to play Persona 5 on Switch would make a lot of people happy and genuinely be a good fit for the console. The Yakuza series may not be the first one people would think of when they think of portable consoles, but when I was thinking of which open-world, quest-filled experience I'd love to play on a train, the Yakuza series was one of the first that came to mind. The reason for this is that while I've only played Yakuza 6 and a bit of Yakuza Kiwami 2, they both feature a wealth of content and minigames that would be fun to do during spare time in a day. With great choices such as golf practice, crane games, and the not-safe-for-the-work lunchroom camgirl sessions, outside of the great main story, the Yakuza series has so much to do that it would be a good light-hearted experience to jump into during the day, which is kind of funny when you consider the game's main themes. I don't know if this one will ever happen, but as I talk about this, thinking about doing all of Yakuza 6's side quests portably is an idea that would make me very happy if it ever happened, and would probably help me get through more of the series. Tokyo Mirage Sessions is a game I miss because its home is on the Wii U, which I didn't have at the time and still don't. I'd actually be tempted to buy a Wii U solely to try this experience, but I would also much prefer to play it on the Switch or even somewhere else just to see it live on. But as a Wii U title, it would make a lot of sense on Nintendo's current gen console. It'd be a great fit for other reasons too. Both series that came together for this game, Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei, already have games on Nintendo consoles, so there's likely a good amount of fans with Switches who would pick this up. Mirage Sessions was also a Wii U exclusive, which means it doesn't have a home on any current gen console anymore, making this game that was fairly successful on Wii U hard to play. And with all these re-releases bringing back other hard-to-find games, I think Tokyo Mirage Sessions should get a chance too. From this list, this is probably the one I'd want to see most on Switch, as you can't really find it anywhere else, and I really want to play it. So I hope that this one is being considered, especially with the next Fire Emblem game coming to Switch this year being potentially a good time to give Tokyo Mirage Sessions some love again. The original Digimon World games were predominantly on PlayStation platforms, but with their inspiration from the portable Digimon Tamagotchi pets from the past, I think they'd make a great fit on a portable device. The developers agreed, since in Japan the latest entry, Digimon World Next Auto, was put on Vita, but the Vita version never made it to the West, only coming to PS4. So if it was on Switch, that would make up for the lack of Vita release in the West and give the game a new home in general. The monster feeding and raising nature in Digimon World games could be really fun on Switch, and I mostly just want it for nostalgia. Digimon Tamagotchis are mostly a thing of the past, but with the Digimon World Series being inspired by that, Next Order is the closest you can get these days, and with the game having its own battle and RPG world to explore, doing both portably I think would be a lot of fun on Switch, and this kind of fun nostalgic vibe I think is in line with other games on Switch as well. My time with Pokemon Let's Go and World of Final Fantasy Maximo was some monster collecting experiences I really enjoyed playing and getting nostalgic with on Switch, so I'd love to see Digimon World Next Order join them, and while I don't know how likely it is, maybe if the upcoming Digimon Survive does well on Switch, it'll be considered too. With Persona Q2 coming to the West in June, I'm reminded that if I want to play it, I have to dig out my 3DS charger and 3DS and make sure I get a copy for the right region. And I'd much rather play this one on Switch since it's a console I use more frequently and I don't need to worry about regions at all. Of course, I'm happy that Persona Q2 is coming to 3DS in English at all, and we'll probably play it at some point, but I do also hope that it hits the Switch sometime, as I think more people would be able to try it since that's what most people are using recently. I'm unsure how likely this one is though, as I know the Persona Q games tend to use both screens of the 3DS, and the graphics aren't quite as sharp as games on Switch these days. But The World Ends With You was a game that also used two screens and mostly made it work on Switch, so I'd love to see some kind of remaster treatment to try the fun-looking world of Persona Q2. Also, since I haven't finished Persona Q yet because I only have it in Japanese, I'd be happy to see either Q, Q2, or both on Switch in some way, but we'll see if that ever happens. But from how many people want to see Persona 5 on Switch, there's obvious interest from people wanting Persona on current portables, so I hope the Persona Q games are something they'd consider too, for convenience and for new audiences. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of my list, and let me know the 5 games you'd want on Switch as well. Honestly, I think most games could be great on Switch, and this list definitely depends highly on personal preferences, and there are a bunch more I could have put on here. But I'd love to hear what games you both wish you could play on Switch for convenience, or which ones you think would fit the platform well. You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whenever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, and you can find me on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at JRPG Jungle. Links to those will be in the description below, along with a list of all the games I mentioned in this video. Until next time, thank you, bye!